Item number 20. Agreement with the National Resource Network for services related to increasing Yuba City's economic competitiveness. So moved.
I won't ask why you're laughing.
He just under his breath, he said, so moved.
So moved, okay. I don't speak as well as Mr. Broom. He's a remarkable man. I feel as if I could sit here and just listen to him continue on. He's very well spoken. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as was mentioned, this matter before you has to concerns increasing Yuba City's economic competitiveness. The origins of this were in November of 2014. The city became aware of an initiative called the National Resource Network. It started through a cooperative effort of the White House and Housing and Urban Development, and collectively they came together and decided that they wanted to look at deploying teams of private and public sector experts to work with cities to help cities identify local projects that would bring economic benefit. And an application was submitted, and here we are today. I'd like to point out a few people in the audience this evening. One individual I've known for quite some time, his name's Russ Branson. He is with Public Financial Management, and he is also representing the National Resource Network. And the other individual actually has to do with one of the tasks before us. And her name is Nancy Crooks. And Nancy is the Executive Director with the North Central Counties Consortium, which oversees our Workforce Investment Board. And and I'll mention that in just a moment, how Nancy is involved in this. So the network first met with us in December, met with over the course of 2 days with a number of different individuals in the community. Staff put together a collective of individuals based upon the Economic Development Work Plan. These are the people who helped your council formulate a work plan. From that, the network went back, conducted an assessment that evaluated our needs based on evaluating economic development, housing, land use, infrastructure, crime, schools, budget, and city operations. And that is the assessment that is included in your agenda packet, which is actually a complement. Should the city not proceed, which I, of course, recommending that we are this evening, but that assessment in and of itself is a very powerful document in terms of the information that's collected, and it's nice to see. So based upon that, the network proposes to cities a customized direct assistance strategy, and that is what your council is considering this evening. Now, this is where I'd like to note that when the group came together, and I'll say the group of business people from the community that represented many different facets, when we put this group together, we did not know of the outcomes of what the assessment would result in. And so when we found that one of the assessments had to do with what is proposed task number 1, which is strengthening the city's jobs readiness pipeline, which, let me just say, for me, based upon what I heard from the groups, is making sure that we have a good match between the abilities of our workforce and the needs of our businesses. After this came through to us, we realized that Nancy's group, and also the superintendent of schools, who are the key players in our community in providing these services, weren't included in that front-end conversation. So through this, we've made the commitment, and it's in the staff report as well as a report, that they will be the partners in this on a go-forward basis. And and I think it's very meaningful that Nancy is here this evening. I just want to say thank you very much. The second proposed task is more city-centric, and that is meaning in terms of our operation and our success as a city operation to successfully grow our community. We need to make sure that our infrastructure is sufficient. And this task addresses the financing of our utility infrastructure system upgrades. We have a plan in place with regard to the repair and replacement of our existing facilities for water and wastewater. We need to make sure that we can successfully expand our plant and our collection and distribution systems to the west. Our general plan, it's no secret, envisions a community of 130,000 people. We are a community of 65,000 people. In order to successfully get to that target, we need to have the basic groundwork in place, and that is what this proposal addresses. So we're fortunate in this instance that this is a cost-sharing arrangement, 75% covered by the network, 25% by the local jurisdiction. So inclusive of travel costs, that factors out to about $33,000 of city funding for a project of over $130,000 altogether. We see this as a benefit from the city staff perspective, especially in terms of implementing the council's goals that have been stated over the years. And I had actually an overhead that I was just going to touch upon the goals, but I just wrote down a few in terms of maintaining and improving our infrastructure, preparing for growth, and the growth strategy of growing our people. This is important that we make that match between our communities, our human resources in our community, and the needs of our businesses. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Krager. Any questions? I would entertain a motion now.
I'll go ahead and move to staff's recommendation for this approval. I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. It passes.